All right, this is Andy Sernovitz, and I'm here at the Marketing Props Conference. And who am I with?
You first.
All right, I'm Matt Dickman, and I work for an agency in Cleveland, Ohio, and I blog at Techno Marketer.
And I'm David Armano. I'm the author of Logic and Emotion, and also a VP of Experience Design for Critical Mass.
And so what? So we're here at this B2B marketing conference. What are you have any good B2B blogging or social media takeaways?
I think there's a lot. I think B2B marketers are a little more hesitant than the B2C community for businesses. So, but I think there are unique ways that B2B can leverage the kind of the social media that everybody's talking about in this conference.
So give me a good one.
Well, I think one of the points was, you don't have to blog, like not everybody has to blog, but blogging is definitely a platform. So, if there's thought leaders inside the company, leveraging those people, using this technology, which is really affordable compared to a traditional content management system, to publish unique content that's indexed by search engines and, linked into all of the different tagging sites and networks that are out there. So that was one key takeaway.
I think the B2B audience seems just as interested as the B2C audience, and they're I think one difference is, even on our panel discussion, we really had a few examples. So Todd Anderlich had a great example for his company, Leopardo, which is a construction company, and they're basically using WordPress as a content management system. Right? There's not even comments allowed on the blog, so it's a really practical way for them to actually manage the press releases, the relationship with the press. So just real tangible examples like that, I think, go really far. Where you see actually companies like it's a construction company, right? You can't get any more B2B than construction, and they're actually tapping into the platform and it's working for them. So stuff like that, I think, is really, that was a big takeaway for me. To see that the audience is really receptive to that.
Yeah, we did it when we built the Woma blog. We just used movable type, and it became our database and our content management system, and things you would never think were blog posts. The member directory is just a blog post for each member, sorted alphabetically, and the job board or just blog posts, and in the end it ended up being 5 or 6 blogs. The whole thing cost $99, and we built a pretty world-class cheapo content management system, and it works.
Yeah.
So as master bloggers, do you guys have any? So for a company, especially like a big company, is just trying to figure out how do we start?
What actually is, I think, a good start in terms of, we talked about the social network, and it's funny because this is validation to a hypothesis that I've had, where I think I tweeted this recently, where I said something like LinkedIn is the gateway drug to social media, social networking. And so we asked how many people were actually using LinkedIn, and it was about 98% of the audience, at least in our group. And this is a B2B audience, so I think starting with a network like that, one that has a practical application, LinkedIn doesn't scare away the corporate types, and it's pretty safe. So I think starting there and understanding how the connections work, understanding the features, I think that's a great way to actually dip your toe in the water, get familiar with it, and then you can move on to other things and see what works for your company.
I think it's good. Yeah. When I first started using LinkedIn, I have a billion connections in my network, but it wasn't until recently when I said I'm going to Seattle, I want to meet somebody at these 2 companies, and I actually went into LinkedIn and said I need a sales lead.
Oh yeah.
And that was the moment when suddenly I thought, oh, that really worked, and it was really fast, and I got my meeting, and I got my client, and that's the light bulb moment, which no one can see my gesture because I'm behind the camera. That's okay.
Another thing, you'll appreciate this because this is a totally word of mouth thing, right? So I asked at the end, how many people had heard about things like LinkedIn, or we had the CEO from Ustream on our panel, and a few people have heard of Ustream, and I said, well, how many people found out about these things through advertising? And of course, no one raised their hands, right? And so basically I made the parallel of, well, B2B is not all that different because the B2B world doesn't do a lot of advertising, but the fact of the matter is that we're finding out about these things from our friends because they're using them and they're liking them, right? So, one guy asked, well, what is 2.0? And I think a lot of it comes down to that fact that, people are they're finding a tool that didn't exist in the past, right? And it usually happens to be enabled by technology, and they're using it, and they're liking it, and they're telling somebody else about it, and it spreads.
Yeah, I think another way B2B companies can get involved is really to listen first. Really engage in listening. Use Technorati, look up your keywords, see who's talking about you, and then slowly start moving into things. There's no need to create a blog first day. That's just a waste. So start listening, see what makes sense, where are your customers looking, where are they finding information about you, and go from there.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.